In the living room where spring sunlight streamed through the window, Lisa Bennett was preparing for her daughter Emma's birthday party. As she spread out a floral tablecloth, she glanced at the clock. In just 2 hours, Emma's friends would start arriving. It had been 3 years since Lisa's divorce, and she was finally getting used to life as a single mother. Working as a pharmacist at the local drugstore, Lisa struggled to balance work and family life. Her relationship with 15-year-old Emma, who was entering adolescence, was becoming more complex by the day. Emma was intelligent and independent like her mother, and sometimes stubborn too, but these qualities actually strengthened the mother-daughter bond. "Mom, where should I put these?" Emma entered the living room holding several balloons for decorating the birthday party. With her hair tied back and dressed in simple jeans and a t-shirt, she had a mature air about her while still maintaining a touch of innocence. "Could you put them around the table?" Lisa answered with a smile. "Have you heard from your father?" Emma's expression clouded slightly as she shook her head. "Not yet. But he said he'd come." Lisa's ex-husband Douglas was the owner of an IT company on the outskirts of town. Though they maintained an outwardly friendly relationship after the divorce, Douglas's involvement with Emma was limited. As his company experienced rapid growth, he tended to prioritize work over family time. "What about Grandma Carol?" Lisa asked carefully. "She called earlier. Said she's bringing a special present." Emma's voice had a subtle tension in it. Carol was Douglas's mother and one of the most successful real estate agents in town. She was actively involved in local charity work and was outwardly respected. After the divorce, Carol hadn't lost interest in Emma. If anything, her attention had increased. She continually sent Emma expensive clothes and the latest gadgets, gifts that were beyond Lisa's means. "I'm sure she's getting you something extravagant again," Lisa said with a light laugh, but behind her smile lay complex emotions. She always felt there was something ulterior behind Carol's generosity. At 4 in the afternoon, the party began.
Can you imagine making $10,000 a month just from YouTube, all from home? That's exactly what I did with Reddit stories. No face, no voice. Check the link in the description if you're curious.
Emma's friends arrived one after another, filling the living room with laughter. As scheduled, Douglas showed up too. He maintained his handsome appearance and was dressed in an expensive suit. "Happy birthday, Emma," Douglas gave his daughter a quick kiss and handed her a small box. "I can't stay long because of work, but I wanted to celebrate with you." Emma smiled awkwardly and accepted the box. Inside was an elegantly designed wristwatch. "That's lovely," Lisa said. "Emma, thank you your father." "Thank you, Dad." Emma's voice was quiet. There was an unspoken distance between her and Douglas. As the party hit its stride, the doorbell rang. When Lisa opened it, Carol Bennett stood there. With perfectly styled hair and dressed in high-end designer clothes, she radiated an elegant presence. She was holding a large gift box. "Sorry I'm late, Lisa." Carol's voice was sweet but contained a certain coldness. "Today is a special day, isn't it?" Upon entering the living room, Carol went straight to Emma. "Happy birthday, my precious granddaughter." She hugged Emma tightly and presented the gift box. "I picked this out specially for you." Emma opened the box with a tense expression. Inside was the latest model iPhone. Everyone in the room gasped in surprise. "Wow, that's the newest one," one of Emma's friends exclaimed. "I'm so jealous." "Thank you," Emma said, but her eyes reflected not joy but some other emotion. Lisa tilted her head at Emma's reaction. Normally, she would have shown at least surface-level excitement for such an expensive gift. But today, Emma was different. Her expression showed obvious discomfort. "Try it out," Carol urged. "I've already set it up for you. You can use it right away." Later, Emma replied curtly and set the box aside. After the party ended and the last friend had left, Emma tucked the new iPhone into a drawer in her room. Lisa watched her daughter's actions from outside the door. Emma, Lisa called as she entered the room. That was a lovely present from your grandmother, wasn't it? Why aren't you using it? Emma was silent for a moment, then quietly answered, I just don't want to use it. Is there a reason? Emma shrugged. Not really. Concerned about her daughter's behavior, Lisa called Douglas that night. Emma doesn't seem happy with Carol's present, Lisa explained. Do you know anything about that? Douglas's response was predictable. All teenage girls are fickle. Don't worry about it. After ending the call, Lisa looked out the living room window. Street lights illuminated the quiet street. Somewhere deep inside, she sensed something was happening. Emma's change didn't seem like just typical teenage moodiness, she felt there was something deeper hidden. The next morning, Lisa was waiting for Emma in the kitchen while preparing breakfast. She valued these precious moments of mother-daughter conversation before school. When Emma came down the stairs, Lisa placed cereal and orange juice on the counter. Good morning, Lisa smiled. Did you sleep well? Emma nodded silently and reached for breakfast. She seemed more subdued than usual. What about your birthday present, the new iPhone? Lisa asked casually. Aren't you going to use it? Emma stopped moving and stared at her mother. I told you I don't want to use it. But your grandmother picked it out specially for you. Is there a reason? Emma remained silent for a while, then uttered some eerie words. You'll understand if you try using it. Lisa frowned. What do you mean? Nothing, Emma quickly began eating her cereal. I'll be late, I need to go soon. Over the next few days, Emma's behavior changed even more. After returning from school, she would immediately shut herself in her room, and she went out with friends less frequently. When Lisa called to her, she gave only brief responses. On the weekend, Lisa met with an old friend, Jamie, at a cafe. She thought her friend, who had been close since college and now worked for an IT-related company, might be able to offer some advice. So, Emma's been acting strange, Jamie said while sipping her coffee. And she won't use the new iPhone she got from Carol? Lisa nodded. That's right. She says, you'll understand if you try using it, but I have no idea what she means. Jamie frowned thoughtfully. Your former mother-in-law is in real estate, right? Yes, she runs the top real estate company in town. And your ex-husband has an IT firm? Lisa tilted her head. Yes. Why do you ask? Jamie put down her coffee cup and said with a serious expression, there's been an increase in privacy violations using technology these days. Smartphones in particular can become perfect surveillance tools. Surveillance? Lisa lowered her voice. You don't think Carol would? It's a possibility, Jamie chose her words carefully. If possible, you might want to check that iPhone. I might just be worrying too much, but... After leaving the cafe, Lisa's head was spinning. Carol monitoring her granddaughter. Using Douglas's technology. It seemed far-fetched. However, thinking back on Carol's abnormal interest in Emma over the past few years, it couldn't be dismissed entirely. While driving her car, Lisa felt unsettling memories surfacing one after another. How Carol always appeared at Emma's school events. How they, coincidentally, met during vacations multiple times. And recently, how she seemed to know detailed information about Emma's room decor and fashion choices, details that even Lisa herself wasn't always aware of. When she returned home, Emma's friend Sarah was waiting at the front door. Hello, Sarah, Lisa greeted her. Emma's not home. She said she was going to the library after school. Actually, I came to talk to you, Mrs. Bennet. Sarah seemed a bit nervous. Lisa invited her into the house. Is something wrong? It's about Emma. Sarah said uneasily. There's a strange rumor going around school. They say photos of Emma's private life can be seen online. Lisa's heart raced. What do you mean? I don't know the details, but an upperclassman named Justin was bragging that he saw photos of Emma's room. Sarah stumbled over her words. And in those photos, Emma was, changing clothes. Lisa felt the blood drain from her face. Who would take such photos? I don't know, Sarah shook her head. But apparently there's a website where you can pay to see them. After Sarah left, Lisa collapsed onto the sofa. Her mind was in chaos. Was this the reason for Emma's changed behavior? Did she know her privacy was being violated? She opened the website for Douglas's IT company and checked the recent news. The company had experienced rapid growth over the past 6 months and had successfully developed a new cloud service, according to an article she found. However, few details were publicly available. Lisa made a decision. Before Emma returned, she would search her room. Though it felt like a violation of privacy, she convinced herself it was necessary for her daughter's safety. Upon entering Emma's room, the first thing she noticed was the old iPhone on the desk, not the new one from Carol, but the model Emma had been using for the past year. After checking the drawers and bookshelves, she couldn't find the new iPhone. Just then, the doorbell rang. Lisa hurried down the stairs and opened the door to find Carol Bennett standing there. Lisa, I hope you don't mind me dropping by, Carol barely greeted her before entering the house. Is Emma home? She hasn't come back yet, Lisa maintained her composure. Do you need something? Carol glanced around the living room. I was wondering if she's using the iPhone I gave her for her birthday. It was expensive, and I hope she likes it. She doesn't seem to be using it yet, Lisa replied. Emma might need some time. I see, Carol's voice betrayed irritation. I wonder where she's keeping it. In her room perhaps. Lisa found this suspicious. I don't know. Is there a problem? No, just concerned, Carol suddenly put on a smile. By the way, Emma's room curtains, that blue color is lovely. I've been looking for a similar shade myself. Lisa froze. She didn't remember ever telling Carol that Emma's curtains were blue. And Emma had never invited her grandmother into her room. I should get going, Carol abruptly said. If you see Emma, please tell her to call me. Looking out the window, Lisa saw Carol getting into her car. A few minutes later, another car pulled up on the street. It was Douglas. He approached Carol's car and began talking to her through the window. Their expressions were serious, as if engaged in an intense discussion. Lisa stepped away from the window and leaned against the wall. Her heart was pounding, and her hands were shaking. She couldn't shake a terrible premonition. That night, Emma was staying over at her friend Sarah's house. After dinner, Lisa drove her daughter there. I'll pick you up tomorrow morning, Lisa said through the car window. Call me right away if anything happens. Emma nodded slightly. Mom. She started to say something but swallowed her words. Never mind. See you tomorrow. As Lisa watched her daughter walk away, she wondered what Emma had been about to say. But tonight, she had another mission, to return home and find the new iPhone that Emma had hidden. Back in the silent house, Lisa decided to search Emma's room again. Closet, desk drawers, behind the bookshelf, she looked everywhere conceivable, but couldn't find the new iPhone. Where could it be? Lisa muttered, standing in the middle of the room. That's when she noticed a shoebox partially visible under the bed. Pulling out the box, she found a small object wrapped in paper. Lisa's hands trembled. Unwrapping the paper, she found the latest iPhone that Carol had given Emma. Lisa picked up the iPhone and pressed the power button. Surprisingly, no password lock screen appeared, the home screen opened immediately. This was odd. It's unimaginable that a modern teenager wouldn't set a password on their smartphone, especially someone as cautious as Emma. So it was already set up, just like Carol said, Lisa murmured in the dimly lit room. The home screen displayed normal app icons, but something felt off. Lisa was familiar with smartphones, but this layout seemed unnatural. Checking each app one by one, she found mostly basic applications including social media apps. However, many of the apps Emma typically used were missing. Swiping from edge to edge of the screen, she noticed a folder on the last page. Named Utilities, at first glance it appeared to be just a collection of utility apps. Lisa tapped to open the folder. Inside were apps like Calculator Plus, Weather Pro, and Family Monitor. Family Monitor, feeling uneasy about that name, Lisa tapped on the app. The screen went dark, and a loading circle rotated. Then suddenly, before Lisa's eyes appeared a familiar scene, Emma's room. From multiple angles. Lisa gasped. These were clearly surveillance camera feeds. With trembling fingers, Lisa explored the icons on the screen. There were two options, Live and Archive. Currently, Live was selected, showing only Emma's empty room. Nervously, she tapped on Archive, which displayed folders organized by date. Opening the most recent date folder, she could see various scenes of Emma spending time in her room, doing homework, talking on the phone with friends, and most shockingly, changing clothes. No way. Lisa's voice trembled. Was this the source of the photos of Emma's private life that Sarah had mentioned? Hidden cameras had been installed in Emma's room, and this iPhone was a terminal to control them. Investigating further, Lisa discovered a menu labeled Distribution Settings. Tapping on it revealed membership registration information. Could this mean that Emma's private life was being streamed in real time on the internet? Terror and anger mixing together, Lisa's hands were shaking uncontrollably. The smartphone slipped from her hand and fell to the floor. Fortunately, the screen didn't crack, but the impact opened a different screen. It was a page headed, Premium Content. There, it stated that special content could be accessed through a monthly subscription. Small thumbnails lined up as sample images, all capturing Emma's private moments. Fighting a strong wave of nausea, Lisa desperately memorized the site name displayed on the screen. Then she took out her own laptop and searched for the site. When she accessed the site, a page with sophisticated design opened. The catchphrase, "Private Life Stream, a safe place to share special moments," caught her eye. At first glance, it looked like a normal subscription service, but upon closer examination of the registration page, it became clear that this site was offering paid access to videos that violated others' privacy. Trembling with anger, Lisa tried to investigate the site's registration and server information. Though her IT knowledge was limited, she applied the basic website information research methods Jamie had taught her. Checking the email address on the site's Contact Us page, she found it was Carol's business email address. Further investigation using the browser's developer tools revealed that the site was hosted on servers belonging to Douglas's company. Lisa stood up from her chair and paced back and forth across the room. Thoughts swirled like a storm in her head. Carol and Douglas had conspired to spy on Emma and sell private footage of her. And their image of being loving family members was all a facade. Driven by deep anger and fear, Lisa picked up her smartphone from beside the refrigerator and called the police. "This is Sunnyvale Police Department. Is this an emergency?" "Yes," Lisa's voice was filled with determination. "My daughter is a victim of a crime. She's being monitored, and her privacy is being violated. I have evidence. May I have your name and address?" After providing the necessary information, Lisa hung up. While waiting for the police to arrive, she sent photos of the discovered iPhone to Emma and took screenshots of the website to secure evidence. Then, grabbing her coat, she took her car keys. She couldn't just wait at home while photos of her daughter were being bought and sold. She decided it would be faster to go directly to the police station with the evidence. As she got into her car, Lisa strengthened her resolve. She would expose the elaborate false relationship that Carol and Douglas had built up over the years and ensure they faced legal consequences. Above all, she vowed never to expose her beloved daughter to such danger again. Lisa took a deep breath and started the car. As the headlights illuminated the dark road, she headed for the police station. Despite the late hour, the police station was brightly lit. With trembling hands, Lisa clutched the iPhone and laptop as she hurried through the front entrance. After explaining the situation at the reception desk, Detective Martin Clark immediately responded. Guided to a private room, Lisa explained everything in detail: the unnatural present from Carol, Emma's behavior change, and the horrifying discovery she had made. Martin occasionally interjected with questions while continuing to take notes. "This is the iPhone in question," Lisa presented the evidence. "And these are screenshots of the site." After examining the iPhone, Martin said, "I'll call in a cybercrime specialist," and left the room. Shortly after, he returned with a young female investigator. "This is Detective Taylor," Martin introduced. "She's an expert in cybercrime." Taylor began examining the iPhone and screenshots in detail. "This is clearly illegal activity. Surveillance of a minor and distribution of those images." She looked up. "Mrs. Bennett, you said your ex-husband and mother-in-law are involved." "Yes," Lisa's voice trembled. "Carol is the site administrator, and Douglas's company provides the servers." "We'll preserve the evidence and begin the investigation immediately," Martin said firmly. "In the meantime, is it possible for your daughter to stay somewhere else?" Lisa nodded. "She can stay at my sister's house." "But..." She struggled with her words. "What should I tell Emma? Does she know everything? Or doesn't she know?" "We need to talk with your daughter," Martin said quietly. "But let's proceed carefully to minimize psychological damage." The next morning, Lisa went to pick up Emma from Sarah's house. In the car, Lisa carefully chose her words. "Emma, I went to the police." The color drained from Emma's face. "Mom. I found it. The iPhone from Grandma Carol. Everything that was on it." Emma stared out the window. After a long silence, she said in a small voice, "Did you know? Sarah told me. And when I checked the iPhone..." Lisa's words caught in her throat. "You knew, didn't you?" Emma covered her face with her hands. "Daniel, Sarah's brother, told me. He's kind of a hacker. One day, he heard upperclassmen at school talking about my room. So Daniel investigated for me." She started crying. "I was too embarrassed to tell you." Lisa pulled the car over to the shoulder and embraced her daughter. "It's not your fault. Absolutely not. Carol and your father are the criminals." Emma continued through tears on her mother's shoulder. "Daniel said the iPhone had surveillance apps on it, so I didn't use it. But we couldn't identify where the cameras were." "It's going to be all right now," Lisa said, stroking her daughter's hair. "The police will investigate everything. Today we're going to your aunt's house." That afternoon, Detective Martin visited Lisa's home after Emma had gone to her aunt's. With the cybercrime team, he investigated Emma's room and discovered multiple small cameras cleverly hidden in a wall clock, bookshelf decorations, and ceiling molding. "This is quite an organized crime," Martin said as he bagged the discoveries. According to Detective Taylor's investigation, this site was streaming footage of at least 5 families. Lisa was speechless with shock. 5 families. All appear to be families Carol Bennett contacted through her real estate business. She probably used her position to access house keys or enter rooms easily under the pretext of renovation work. "You're going to arrest Carol and Douglas, right?" Lisa's voice was tinged with anger. "We have sufficient evidence. However, we want to proceed cautiously so they don't become suspicious." Martin sat down and faced Lisa. "Mrs. Bennett, we need your cooperation." "I'll do anything." We're planning to lure them out. To secure Carol and Douglas simultaneously. The plan was meticulously crafted. Lisa called Carol, telling her, "There's something important to discuss. Something serious has happened with Emma. I need to talk to you and Douglas," she said. Carol seemed suspicious at first, but when Lisa explained that Emma has been behaving strangely and there's a problem at school, she immediately promised to visit. That night, Lisa's house was eerily quiet. On the living room table lay the iPhone and laptop. Police officers were positioned in adjacent rooms and outside, with everything set up to record all conversations. 10 minutes before the scheduled time, Carol's luxury car stopped in front of the house. Moments later, Douglas's car arrived too. They both headed for the entrance together. The doorbell rang, and Lisa took a deep breath before opening the door. "Lisa, what happened?" Carol wore a concerned expression, but wariness lurked in her eyes. "Is Emma okay?" "Come in," Lisa said calmly. "We need to talk." As soon as the two entered the living room and saw the iPhone on the table, their expressions hardened. "I know," Lisa said slowly. "Everything." "I don't know what you're talking about," Carol laughed elegantly. "We've only been concerned. This iPhone has surveillance apps on it. You installed hidden cameras in Emma's room and sold the footage online." Lisa's voice was shaking, but her eyes were filled with determination. Douglas spoke up. "Lisa, don't be ridiculous. That's... I have all the evidence," Lisa said coldly. "A site called Private Livestream. Hosted on your company's servers. Carol's email address registered as the administrator." A heavy silence fell over the room. Carol and Douglas exchanged glances. "Lisa, you might think you understand," Carol's tone changed, becoming cold and intimidating. "We weren't doing anything wrong. We were just conducting business. Monitoring a minor girl and selling that footage is business." Lisa's voice trembled with anger. "You are criminals." Douglas stood up. "Shut up," his voice was low and dangerous. "Hand over all the evidence. If you don't tell anyone, nothing will happen to Emma." "Are you threatening me?" Lisa also stood up. "It's too late. The police know everything." Carol's face contorted with anger. "You don't understand anything. The influence we have in this town. We were just sharing a special being like Emma with the world. It's art." "You make me sick," Lisa spat out. "You betrayed my daughter. And I won't let you hurt Emma anymore." Douglas suddenly moved toward Lisa. His eyes mixed with anger and fear. "Give me the evidence." At that moment, the door to the adjacent room opened, and Detective Martin entered with two police officers. Carol screamed, and Douglas tried to escape, but they were quickly apprehended. Both were handcuffed and escorted to the patrol cars waiting outside. Left alone in the room, Lisa sank onto the sofa. For years, she had questioned the false relationship created by her former mother-in-law and ex-husband while trying to maintain peace. Tonight, that mask had completely fallen away. After seeing the officers off, Martin returned to Lisa. "You did a brave thing," he said quietly. "It will save many families." Lisa smiled with a tired face. "I'll do anything to protect Emma." "Tomorrow, we'll need to hear more details," Martin said. "We'll also need to talk with your daughter. But for now, you should rest." Lisa nodded. A long journey would begin tomorrow. But tonight, Emma could sleep in a safe place. And finally, the fear that had been threatening her had come to an end. 1 year later, the final hearing at Sunnyvale County Court concluded. Lisa and Emma's expressions showed relief as they descended the courthouse steps. "It's over," Emma whispered. She had grown both mentally and physically over the past year. "Yes," Lisa put her arm around her daughter's shoulders. "Carol got 20 years, Douglas 15. By the time they're released, you'll be a grown woman. During the trial, the full extent of Carol and Douglas's crimes came to light. Through private live stream, they had monitored at least 8 families with minors in Sunnyvale and surrounding areas, selling the footage. Carol used her real estate business to enter homes, and their method involved giving modified electronic devices as gifts, using Douglas's technology. Throughout the trial, Carol maintained her arrogant attitude, continuously claiming freedom of artistic expression. Douglas, on the other hand, tried to shift blame by saying he had acted under Carol's strong influence, but evidence showed he was actively involved. Detective Martin contacted me, Lisa said as they got into the car. The first meeting of the support group for other victim families is next week. Over the past few months, Lisa and Emma had been on the road to recovery while receiving psychological counseling. By joining forces with families who had suffered similar harm, they had built relationships to support each other. "Are you going?" Emma asked. "Of course," Lisa smiled. "Your experience might help other children." They had moved to a new house. Their previous home had been stained with too many bad memories. The new residence was on a small hill overlooking the sea, a quiet place where they woke to birdsong in the morning. Emma had joined her school's cybersecurity club and begun awareness activities about privacy protection for young people. Her experience had become a warning bell for many of her peers. "Mom," Emma spoke just before they reached home. "Thank you for believing me and protecting me. Even when I said that confusing thing about the iPhone that night, you'll understand if you try using it, you didn't give up and kept investigating." Lisa stopped the car and looked at her daughter. "Protecting you is my responsibility. Always will be." Real family. Emma searched for words. "It's not about blood ties, but about trusting and protecting each other like this." Lisa nodded. "That's exactly right." At dusk, the two sat on the deck behind their house, watching the sunset over the sea. The orange-tinted sky and the quiet sound of waves seemed to quietly speak of hope for a new tomorrow. "A new beginning," Lisa said, gazing at the sea. Emma nodded and held her mother's hand. Their story had begun in fear, but now it had transformed into a tale of courage and recovery. And that journey would continue.